Hello and welcome to My Life in Gaming. I don't know. Something like that.
Lights are bright.
So, Coury is shooting a little studio tour here today. And actually, I don't think that much has changed in here since the big tour video that we did a few years ago.
Yeah, this has probably changed the least amount, really.
Yeah, this hasn't changed all that much, but there's a lot of interesting stuff sort of in the peripheral.
The periphery.
The periphery, yes, that's the word I'm looking for. Uh, this
Periphery.
this table is new since then. At some point last year, you might notice a subtle change in the shooting surface that I've been using for most of the B-roll. It used to be an old hand-me-down desk from my cousin. This is just a nice old-looking sturdy table that I got at a thrift store, and I really like it. It's just it's the right size for this and the right sort of worn texture, and it's really easy to work with. And of course, I've got the wood panel background behind, and that is unchanged. It's just two old style wood paneling panels nailed to the wall. It might look a little weird if it weren't a studio. These lights might be different from the studio tour because I wanted an upstairs and downstairs set of lights so that I didn't have to keep hauling them up and down the stairs because I kept like banging up the wall on the stairs trying to hold the stands down. These are kind of weird. I wouldn't necessarily recommend the setup that I went for. Like, these are gigantic soft boxes. Like, they take up a ton of room. I kind of had to put the whole thing together kind of piecemeal. I bought the stand, bought the soft boxes, as well as the fixtures for the lights. Too much light. There are 5 just LED bulbs from the hardware store, and I had to buy kind of a weird fixture for the softbox because it's this umbrella style. So I had to buy a style that had like a through hole for it. They work well, but the way it came together was odd. It's hard to say if I recommend it. I would kind of like to be working with some smaller lights up here, but for now, these work pretty okay. And despite what people may think, I do try to have the systems, and stuff that I shoot, I try to have them, dust it off and, do this to get the last of it off. But, the thing is, as we always say, the lens sees things that your naked eye just doesn't see as clearly.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is, it's going to make dust more apparent. But yeah, on the carpet, I've got sort of markers for where I put certain things in here. Like, I don't have it out right now, but I put some clothes racks with blankets to help dampen the sound. So like these markers here to tell me like that goes here, tripod goes here. When I'm using the green screen, the lights go here, and the microphone stand goes on the X here, and my toes go up to this line. So this way I can make it very consistent from episode to episode, and I don't have to change like my green screen settings and color correction settings and stuff like that. I believe even back at the studio tour, I believe I had these lights, which these illuminate this is actually unplugged. These illuminate the green screen separately from me. I set the light stands, I set them, you know, in the correct position. And this sort of, these are a little warmer than those lights, so that helps the green screen sort of have a little more contrast with me. And it also helps because it looks nice because it puts a little light sort of on my shoulders. You know, it's sort of, I'm really happy with how those work. But yeah, I mean, so, you know, shoot green screen when we shoot green screen.
It's not very often that much anymore.
No, it's increasingly less so for sure. But it can be, you know, it's a balance. Sometimes we just get sick of setting up the camera to shoot in the house, and sometimes we get sick of shooting green screen. You know, they each come with their own pros and cons. Over here is this is the microphone stand that I use. This has got a little bit of extra sound dampening shield on it. I probably don't really need the pop filter because I don't really talk directly into it, but it's good. It's just there for safety. And then these this taller stand and this super short stand are for the teleprompter. So the tall one is for if I'm standing, and the short one is for if I'm sitting, because that tall one can't get down low enough. So this teleprompter is called Super Cheap Teleprompter. I don't know if they're still around, but it's just a box made of wood, and I have like a, you know, it was like a Black Friday, you know, Amazon Kindle, you know, that I just have free prompter software on here, and let's see, here's the script for Phantasy Star, and so I just sort of make it as big as I want, and set the speed, and mirror it, and then I can put it in the box and see it reflected. You know, the camera goes under the hood and shoots through it, and the cloth kind of blocks any light coming in from the sides. So it's as simple as that. You know, we like to use the teleprompter because it just makes the shooting experience much less stressful. You know, because we don't have that natural presenter persona, you know, and it just helps us stay on topic and stay, you know, keep our information correct, you know, so that we don't say something we didn't mean to say because we're stressing out about presenting.
Yeah. So what do you got over here on this plastic shelf here?
So this plastic shelf, a lot of this, they aren't all junk consoles, but a lot of them are. You know, like these PlayStation 3s, this Dreamcast, they were, you know, sold as is, you know, just a couple of dollars, you know, under $10. And I haven't opened those yet, but like this Super Nintendo here, this Genesis here, original Xbox, I found that next to the trash can a long time ago. Here's a PS1, a PS2. I still think it's amazing that a PS2 is really that small, you know, the board. These are just systems that I like to leave open so that I can shoot B-roll of the insides without having to open
They're good systems?
my good systems, you know, and put them back together. I can just leave these open and, you know, get shots that look technical. I've even got, you know, this is like a beta pre-release Super NT. This is the Super NT and Mega SG that were sent to us before the retail units to help with, so that we could get feedback and beta testing and stuff. And, you know, I just opened them up so, hey, I can shoot insides of the system. It's just, you know, it's just good to have. Up top here, this is the drive I removed from the Dreamcast that I purchased for using the GDMU in, and it had a loose Crazy Taxi 2 in it.
At least I'm surprised it wasn't NFL.
I
It
know.
wasn't a football game.
I've got a few PSPs up here. Here's a 1000 and a 2000, both of which I assume are good, but I'm just putting them here for an eventual PSP episode because my main PSP is a 3000. I bought a clear Game Boy and also this. These were intended for using like with some backlight mods, but I just haven't gotten around to getting anyone to do that. Here are, I've mentioned this before, these are some of the extra sort of, I call them dust covers essentially, the junk cartridges that I got the labels off of. I could put in more Game Boy systems if need be. At least one of these Wii's is junk, but I've also got a few Wii revisions for doing the upcoming Wii episode. You know, there's a GameCube compatible black one, which does have better video quality than the launch one that I mainly use, as well as one that is not GameCube compatible. Junk Game Gear. And actually a very nice condition Wii Mini. Usually these are not in good condition. You know, I feel like the color scheme on the Wii Mini is a little weird, but if it had a nicer color scheme, like maybe going for like more of a Famicom kind of vibe, like I feel like it would actually be a neat looking system, but it's the black on top is kind of weird. But it's apparently like, I haven't even tested it, but it's apparently worse composite quality, and of course only composite quality. But yeah, so, you know, it's kind of funny. I've just got up here, you know, sitting in this bundle of cables. Oh, yep, here's, you know, here's just my GameCube component cables there, you know, just toss them up here. Don't need them. Because I got the GCHD Mark II component, which I think looks better. This is our...
This is basically the biggest aspect of our show at this point.
Yeah, this is a Rhino slider. We actually supported on Kickstarter. You did as well, did you not?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've supported on Kickstarter a new version of this actually that will work. It won't. Certain parts of it will be replaced, and certain parts will be the pre-existing. But yeah, like all those moving slot shots. This.
Why don't you turn it on really quick just so you can show how it looks without?
Yeah, I mean, so there's no camera on it, but this is the motor right here, and just powered up here, and then this pedestal here, it actually rotates. So it when I turn this on, I can sync the head to the slider motor. So we can either make a movement that has a start point and stop point, or we can make one that's just a continuous motion. So I'm going to do that right now because it's the simplest. So it's calibrating. It goes all the way to the end. And of course, I mount the camera on this plate here, but we don't have the camera with us right now. So, you know, you can turn that head with this wheel, and I click in, and then it goes all the way down to the other side. And then I just set the out point, and then I can move it in between. It's both lateral movement and turning movement. The new version that they did on Kickstarter actually the head is more complex, and it can actually do these motions as well. In addition to being, you can use it just on a tripod, just for automated panning, tilting on a tripod without the rails. So it's going to be very versatile. And we almost overuse this these days because it's so easy to use and it's so easy to make something look good.
Yeah. And you can drag out shots and not be bored.
Right. I feel like, you know, if you've got just a still shot, you can only really do that for like 2 seconds or something. With this, like if you've got something interesting happening during the moving shot, like you can hold the shot for longer. So it looks cooler. It makes it easier in a lot of ways. It's just so easy to get like a lot of really good B-roll very quickly with this kind of setup. Normally, I have it kind of over here, at the table. Obviously this chair wouldn't be here normally. I sort of like work around here. I kind of like it to clip over the corner of this table. So yeah, I mean it's that we got that about a year ago. Both of us got one. I've got the longer version. You've got the shorter version. Yeah. And the shorter version is nice because it's just less cumbersome. Yeah. And it's also possible you don't have to use two tripods. Yeah, you just have one in the middle, but there's no way to.
Generally, I keep 2 feet on the desk and then 2 feet on a stool that I have.
Oh, okay, yeah, but it's yeah. This is a little cumbersome, the longer one, but I've gotten so used to using it, it's not really an issue anymore. But it is fantastic. We love these. It's the brand is Rhino that makes them. We learned about it from Joe Redifer. Yeah. But yeah, that has been a major game changer for us. It just makes things good. And by the way, if people were curious, still got over here a few Night Trap Blu-rays. If you want to order them on the Wix store, there's about a box and a third left of them over here. Is mylifeandgaming.net?
Yeah.
.net.
No, mylifeandgaming.com.
Mylifeandgaming.com
goes to
the Wix.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, if you don't have one, over here is just kind of some assorted stuff. Some of the stuff that was sent to me, it just showed up in the PO box, and some of it's just like, I don't know if I really have a way to use this in an episode. And a lot of it's just other stuff that's just lying around. So, kind of one of the big ones up here is the Steel Battalion controller up here that I found at a local thrift store for $15 because they didn't know what it is. There's like no branding on it, so there's like no way to like do a Google search and find out like what is this thing if you didn't know what it was. Yeah. So it was $15, unbelievable find. I've got my few Game Gear games up here, just because. Again, I don't have a Game Gear yet, a working one anyway, and I don't consider them part of my collection because I don't have a system to play them on. I've also got a few other odds and ends, like again, I don't consider it officially part of my collection yet, unless I decide I really like it. But it's like one of the Goemon spin-off games that doesn't seem that good, so that's why it's not on my shelf. But I want to do like a big Goemon episode one day, so that's why that's there. I've got again games I'm a little I want to try out, but I haven't yet. I want to do like a Super Scope episode, so I've got these carts up here. I mean, it's just we're never going to run out of ideas. We've just got so many ideas. Here's a bootleg Super Princess Peach. That's why.
You have the real one over there?
Yeah, well, it's. I used to have it. That's a friend's copy. I asked if I could borrow it because once I realized mine was fake, I wanted because I'm working. It could still be some time off, but I've started working on a Mario episode, a 2D Mario episode. And this isn't going to be a major point in the video, but I will like mention like sort of the spin-offs, but there's sort of some print quality differences. But this was something I purchased on eBay without even realizing.
Oh yeah, you can tell if that's.
Yeah, but like I thought these lines were just part of the art style. Yeah. When I first found it. The real dead giveaway is in here. Is the real dead giveaway is this Nintendo logo is not. It's yeah they tried, but it's not the right font. That's the real dead giveaway. But as far as bootlegs go, it's not that obvious if you weren't like actively thinking like, oh, should I be worried that this is a bootleg. But yeah, so I'm borrowing that from a friend for the Mario episode. But yeah, over here on this side, I mean, just again, other odds and ends. My Toro for Dreamcast doesn't really work anymore.
Cable, right?
I guess. I don't know. Believe it or not, my Framemeister is actually here because I just don't have a spot to hook it up right now. But I put it in this bag because I don't want it to get, you know, dusty or dirty or anything. You know, a variety of switchers and stuff like this. I really am interested. Is this VGA switcher you gave me this? Is it good?
Yeah. I just sent it to you because I got it one that has 4 on it.
Oh, okay. Because
a lot of them don't support audio, and that supports audio.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty good. I was actually thinking about using it just as an audio switch and not the VGA switch. But yeah, little CRT. This I'm not going to bother tearing it around, but this is, you know, those flat silver tube Toshibas that are in a lot of our episodes. This is a little 13-inch version, and it's just really easy to use for. It's easy to fit into a shot if I need to like maybe set something up on the table, or it's just easy to shoot for, you know, I've got composite S video and component in the back of it. It's just an easy TV to shoot doing stuff with. But it does not have very pronounced scan lines, unlike the 24 and 27-inch versions of the same set. This Panasonic is actually kind of interesting because it's I believe it is a semi-professional one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's got BNC connections in the back. It's got S-video and composite, but not RGB.
Looks like it has a little headphone jack on the front there.
Yeah, it's I found a thrift store. It's interesting. It's not like amazing quality or anything like that, but this is a PSX, which was extraordinarily generously given to me by a viewer of the show, because these are expensive. Unfortunately, the disk drive does not work, but I believe it's supposed to be relatively easy to fix. So that is definitely something I want to do one day. And you know, I have not modded or got any sort of easy way to use Japanese PS1, PS2 discs right now. I mean, I know that's an easy thing to do, but I just like the idea of doing a real Japanese system. And actually, my current PS2 controller came with this. And I really like it because it's got an extra long cable, and it looked like it was virtually unused. So that has gotten good use, but I want to replace the drive in this because I think that will be pretty neat. But yeah, there's just some other odds and ends, you know, cassette tape deck. You know, a lot of this stuff is stuff that was going to be thrown away at my former job. You know, that's just like, well, I'll take it. You know.
Yeah, that cassette tape deck is. Or just said you don't want it. I'd probably use it.
I mean, do you have a need for cassette tape recording?
I mean, I could.
Yeah, well, you're probably more likely to do it anytime soon than me, so maybe you should consider taking it home if you've got room for it.
Yeah, I'll look at it.
And then, you know, just more odds and ends on the bottom. You know, some stuff that's been lent to us for the show. You know, like some PAL Super Famicom stuff and things like that. I need to ask the guy, like, are you sure that we can still hold on to this?
Yeah.
Because I feel a little guilty. Like he said I could hold on to it for
Yeah, you got some more over there.
a long time. Yeah, there's more stuff over here. These are sort of up here are systems that are, for the most part, they're actually working systems, but I didn't have a spot to put them, so I just kind of store them here and use them as needed, like a Super Famicom. Here's my PSIO PS1, which the disk drive in that is not very good, which is, in addition to it having a parallel port, is the reason I put the PSIO in it, because it makes that system useful. This is a Genesis 2 from a friend, and this 32X was actually sold as junk. But
I bet it works.
someone has told me that every 32X he's ever looked at had the exact same problem. There's like a bad solder joint in like all of them.
Mm-hmm.
He's a guarantees 100%. That's what's wrong with this. And it's actually physically on the outside, it's in good condition.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take it to him and get it fixed sometime. This Genesis 3 I got for just a few dollars as well. It was, it was just sold as is.
We should look at that. Look up the solder joint. Maybe it's something I could fix.
Maybe it is. Some PS2 Slims. This is the very last Slim, which
we both bought that one.
we both did, yeah. It's actually always interested me that the grooves on the front are different on this.
Oh yeah.
And then this is a what is it? This is like basically the king of PS2s, the 39001, which that's my best PS2, but I kind of keep it unused here for now. I've got my interest in PS2 has definitely gone way up in the past few years, and I've ended up with way more PS2s than I ever thought I would, because I used to not really consider it like quite that high on my list of favorite systems, but it's definitely kind of had a revival for me lately. Here's a box of this is a spare. We've ended up with a lot of Commodore stuff, and here's a box of some nice Commodore parts as well. And I just haven't had time to do a lot of Commodore stuff yet. Whoa! You gotta be careful in here.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful in here. Under here is the old motorized turntable that we used to use for a ton of sort of rotating shots.
We still use it when we need to, right?
Yeah, I just haven't really used it a whole lot lately myself because I feel like I can do more interesting things with the slider.
Right, exactly.
These are, I haven't actually done anything with these yet, but these are some tiles that I got from real cheaply from the hardware store that I was thinking of using for like a Mario episode, like just to have
background.
just to have a different look for have like a brick looking background for certain shots, just to give it a little different look. Here's some extra VHS tapes from that huge gigantic lot of tapes.
You had to keep some for yourself.
Just had to keep a few for myself just in case. This down here is mostly VCRs that mostly don't work. My VCR situation is actually pretty grim at the moment. At some point those worked, and
you got a DVC Pro player. Is it DVC Pro HD?
I don't know if it does HD.
That's cool.
Again, that came from my old place of work. I don't quite even trust this professional VHS deck anymore. There's like some cassette tape recorders, some VHS rewinders, some converters and stuff. And this right here is a nice old-fashioned looking 19-inch CRT. I mean, I say nice. I mean, it's only got RF. I actually have a Nintendo RF switch plugged into it, but it's great to use for most recently I used it to get some Phantasy Star Master System stuff for the Phantasy Star episode shot off of this. It's a good TV for representing that old time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that kind of covers what's going on here now. Over this table over here, I've kind of put some things on this table that's like I want to do something with these soon, and so I kind of like put it on there to like remind me like you should do something with this soon. Like this is an extra PlayStation TV that I want to hack. That it's new in the box, so it's hackable. This was an earlier version of the GBA consolizer, so that'll play into that episode. Obviously we want to do the Wonder Boy episode. These are some carts I'm borrowing from our friend Drumble, because I don't have Adventure Island 2 and 3. So, just things I want to do here's a e-reader cards for Game & Watch, which I want to do a Game & Watch gallery episode. So things I just wanted to put here to like, don't forget to do this. Like we need to do a follow-up on N64 analog sticks.
We have those steel sticks.
We've got it. Well, we've got a few things that we just need to do it, but there's so much to do, so many episodes to do. I mean, like I say, we are never going to run out of ideas. But yeah, this is the studio. I've got an unfinished room on the other side of the hall that I'm thinking about sort of finishing over the course of the year. I think between me and my dad, we can probably do that without overstrain ourselves. You know, we'll have to hire someone to do HVAC, but I think it'll be easy to like fill the room with wood paneling and like office carpet, and just to give me a little bit more shooting space. And in that case, this room will probably mostly become storage space for props, CRTs, you know, odds and ends that I might use for B-roll, but stuff that I just don't really want presented in my house, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what's going on in here for now, but it could change one day. But as always, thanks for watching.